Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. It's been about 10 days since my last video. For those of you guys that didn't see it, I put up a community post saying I was basically taking a week off. I got a lot of things going on in my life right now. I'm like trying to plan 5 novels while finishing 8 novels, so just a lot of projects going on, guys. You know, for me it's a 15-year project, and you know, being a professional storyteller, it has its ebbs and flows. Sometimes I'll get 3 to 4 months of super chill work, 2 hours a day. Other days, you know, I'm working twice a day, in the day and at night, all the time. It consumes my mind. It's all I think about. And so, you know, basically last week something had to give, and that was YouTube. You know, a lot of people, you know, I appreciate your guys' messages, reaching out to me, asking how I'm doing. A lot of people are like, oh no, like, is it something with Ever Crisis? And I'm like, no, I actually really like Ever Crisis. I honestly think Ever Crisis is in a great place right now, guys. I really think that when we all came together and we sent in those emails and we sent the messages to Square Enix, right? I think that, you know, Applebot really got the picture. I think there's obviously still room for growth, but I do think that Ever Crisis is on a good track right now. The months after anniversaries, guys, they're always slow in gacha games. If you've been playing gacha games for a while, that's just how it is. They're always slow after, you know, anniversary months, especially when we got a bunch of banners that just kind of didn't make any sense in April. But anyways, guys, I have returned, and here we go. So I'm going to get into the patch updates for the day. I'm not going to touch on the stuff that I missed last week because obviously you guys have already been playing with everything, but let's just get into it for today. Alright, so we did get the Day of 7 gift, 1,000 blue crystals, which is fantastic. Super down for that. Then we have the Ever Crisis Academy 7-episode Brawler update. Alright, so Barrett is releasing today, guys. Alright, so that is some cool news. Barrett's getting a banner. Here we have the set square. You know, actually, quick tangent. Is it so strange that Glenn gets an ultimate weapon this month and he literally, like, has not gotten a banner? I feel like that's so strange. They're like, yes, like, we're giving Glenn an ultimate weapon, but like he also is not getting a banner at the same time. Like, they're sending mixed messages here, right? They're like, yes, get the ultimate weapon for Glenn. Will he have banners in the future? It's debatable. We're debating on it back here at Applebot headquarters, right? All right. Anyways, guys. Anyways, sorry. I was just thinking about that the other day, and I thought it made me giggle. All right. So here we have Set Square, new event weapon. Going to be pretty, you know, typical as they have been recently. Event dungeon ranking, Sunsin Cave on now. All right. Here we go. All right. So this should be pretty fun. Obviously, Wind Element is, you know, the thing of the month, at least for the first half of the month up until the Guild War. I thought that, for some reason, I thought the FF6 rerun was this month, and that's why I was like, oh, that makes sense for a Magic Water Guild War. That's my prediction, is Magic Water for the Guild War. But now that I was checked and, you know, corrected by my helpful guildmates, I feel like, you know, FF6 isn't until next month, so, I mean, Aerith's weapon was confirmed as water, so I'm guessing it's going to be water, but anyways, guys, so too many tangents. There's been a lot. Like I said, I haven't been here for 10 days, so catching up little by little, right? All right, so let's keep going from here. Ever Crisis Academy 7 draw Barrett on now. All right, here we go. My friend Do Rules pointed out that there is a barrel on this fan. I pointed out that it's like a straw for spitball shooting. That'd be actually like literally right on point right there. But no, it's definitely a gun, guys. All right, so let's check this out. Here we have the Teacher's Paper Fan. Okay, ATB costs 3 ATB, Winds of Discipline is the command ability, inflicts up to 500% physical wind damage upon all enemies with ATB 3, plus grants caster Veil up to 10% of the caster's maximum HP, and when caster's HP is 50% or more, drastically reduces all enemies' wind resistance. Honestly, I don't think they needed the HP threshold on this weapon. I feel like it could have even had something else on it. Like, for being a limited weapon, like, we have this interesting thing going on, right? Where we have this Ever Crisis Academy, and we have these limited banners coming out. But these limited banners feel a lot like regular banner, like, weapons and costumes, I feel, right? But they have special stamps, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. These are like the best banners that we could have ever asked for in Ever Crisis. I just think it's interesting that they're like, yeah, they're kind of like normal weapons, but because they are 2 stamps for a guaranteed, we're going to make them limited. That's kind of how it feels like to me. But if you guys, you know, have a different perspective, feel free to lay it on me, guys, all right? All right, so let's go here. 7th, high athletic gear, physical and magic ward, and then we have gym teacher's whistle. All right, boost wind ability damage. So it's basically a wind arcanum. It's one of those next gen arcanums, right, where it comes with like the 20% to physical ability damage on top of the 30%. I'm honestly not really sure how I feel about these going to characters that have other types of tiers. I mean, I think for like the exact event that these banners were made for, they're going to be great. But like in the long run, is Barrett really going to be running like a more like arcanum-y costume? Probably he's going to be running one of his more tanky costumes, right? So, you know, the weapon itself, I feel like I'm more excited about than the costume, which I feel like for me, this costume looks like pretty easily skip. But then when you look at the stamps, it's like a whole nother like equation comes into mind, like when you look at the stamp card, right? All right, and here we have Glenn's ultimate weapon without his accompanying banner. Glenn, I hope, gets a banner this month. If Glenn doesn't get a banner this month, that's like riot material right there. He definitely needs a banner this month. For all of you like true Glenn fans out there, I hope that they give him something absolutely awesome. This is a really cool ultimate weapon, though. I guess I'm just realizing that this came out, and I haven't really talked about it, but I really like this. I feel like this makes Glenn probably like one of the best single target tanks in the game for like monsters that really have strong single target damage, because his is not really focused on the AoE. I feel like this really focuses on him being like, you know, cranking down and tanking. So I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. For me, like Angeal and Barrett are like the tanks that I really want to use in any given situation. So Glenn, I feel like, is just kind of an outlier in some ways, right? But you know, at the same time, I feel like he will find his flow once they give him enough of the gear. Once he gets more of a tank kit, I feel like he'll start to come into that class, right? Because he's kind of been like DPS up until this point, and now he's like emerging into a tank, but he doesn't have all the tools that the other tanks have. So he really does need a banner. He really needs like 4 banners, right, in order to like really catch him up to everybody else, to Angeal and Barrett. All right, let's keep going. All right, Event Battle Tower, Singularity, the Vortex Tower, the first clash on now. They really love these really long names. I think that I think Applebot has convinced themselves that like the longer the name of the tower, just the more fucking epic that it is, guys. Just like put in as many adjectives that you could absolutely find into the name, and it will just make it pure epic to the end. All right, so pretty excited about a tower, guys. This is a lot of free crystals here, which crystals like crystal consumption, not consumption. What's it called when you're collecting something? Crystal collection has slowed, right? I feel like significantly in the last month. So it's nice to get a tower, and it looks like we'll get the first clash weapon voucher and exchange it for a 5-star weapon of your choice. All right, always happy to see that stuff, especially for newer players, you know. All right, now let's take a look at the shop. I think I've almost given up on them adding new packs, guys. I really feel like they should. I feel like, honestly, let's talk about the pass, though, guys. I bought this crystal pass, 30 days for $4, and you get 3,000 blue crystals and 650 red crystals. Super solid, in my opinion, guys. I feel like it's a really solid thing. Another thing I'll typically get off and on is the boost pass, just to like make farming easier sometimes, and you get the 1,200. So these are probably like 2 of my favorite little packs in the game, are both these guys right here, now that this one has come out. So I think the crystal pass is honestly a great thing, and you know, it allows people to support the game for a little bit of bonus, even if it's just a little bit of support at the same time, which I think is good. I think it's been too focused on whales for a long time, and there needs to be these small bundles in the game, you know, that reach out to a different like demographic group of people to, you know, support the game, right? Okay. All right, so let's go over to the draw. let's take a look. This is really like the last thing to look at. Before we do that, let's do our like token 10 pull of the day. All right, I'm just gonna skip through it. I've been having some pretty decent luck though. I played my friend Excalibur's account, and on the first pull I did for him, I got 2 of the banner weapons and an ultimate weapon. So I guess the luck has just been there recently, guys. But not today, not on that 10 pull. There wasn't any luck whatsoever there. Alright. Alright, so here we go. Let's go. Ever Crisis Academy. Oh, so they kind of stack up here. And obviously I didn't get to talk about a lot of the things that came out last week, like the change in the interface here, which is, honestly, I really like it. I think it's cool. And this stamp thing going on right here for the limited banners, like, if they just keep this up for all limited banners moving into the future, I think that this would be fantastic, guys. This is so awesome. Like, the fact that it's that easy to OB10 gear is really cool. So, really happy they put that out there. Alright, let's see what we got. So, we're going to go to try on. Alright, so, not going to lie, the gym PE teacher uniform Barrett's got going on here, not really the most appealing costume, I think, for Barrett. And then he's got like a pink and white fan on his hand. That pose though, guys, that pose though, I didn't even know this, but if you go and check all of the costumes that you guys have for your characters, every single costume comes with its own unique pose for the character. It's actually really cool. I didn't notice that before. I was just doing it the other day. I was just like kind of perusing through the different costumes and just checking them out, and I realized that they all have different actions for every costume. It's actually really cool. Tiny little detail that I never noticed that I want to give props to Applebot for. I think that's a cool thing that they did. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Here we have the gear, Physical Magic Ward, Physical Magic Defense plus 15%, so definitely a solid R ability. I will always take that. And here we have Gym Teacher's Whistle, which is basically the next-gen Arcanum for wind, except it's on a tank, so it's not anywhere near as exciting, right? At least for me, guys. At least for me. Alright, so let's go and look at the weapon right here. Alright, so we have the Teacher's Paper Fan. Let's just look at it at OB10. Okay, so actually OB6 is probably what actually OB1 is what we want to look at it, right? Okay, so once again, it is low to mid at OB1. They really have like dug into this like trench lately where, you know, I really think that it's important that weapons are mid to high at OB1, especially for, you know, free-to-play players, or, you know, just to make it more accessible for players. I think low to mid is just kind of a whack. It's just like this weapon, I feel like, does not really have value until you hit OB6, which is a bummer because it reduces the chance that I think some people will pull. I mean, now that the stamps are the way they are, it's obviously more inviting, but alright, so let's go back up at OB6. It is, at least it's high on the first cast at OB6, but still, it's going low to mid and then high on the first cast. I think it could have been mid to high, especially because I feel like this weapon is not really like out of the park crazy. It just seems like a standard new Imperil weapon for a tank. That's how it feels to me. It just, there's nothing really like super cool or crazy about it. It's just pretty typical Imperil. The nice thing about this weapon is that I don't believe that Angeal or Barrett have a wind Imperil right now in the kit, so you definitely want to have like the Imperils covered by the tanks, or at least between the tanks if possible. Alright, let's go to OB10. 46 over 39, so nothing crazy on the R abilities. And yeah, basic sigils. I just wanted to take a look at this stuff. Let's look at this costume. What's got going on here? So he's got the timer. He's got the whistle. He's got the the beard going. I mean, he's pulling it off, guys. He's rocking it. Like, it looks like he's like showing up for work every day to teach PE class, and he's ready for it. Like, he's got his schedule going on. He's got his his watch right here. I like the sneakers. It's pretty fun. But personally, guys, like I said, it's a fantasy game. I want to see Barrett. Like, the Dragon King costume is so sick, and he's got some other great ones. All right, guys. Well, anyways, I do apologize for taking the week off, but I needed it, and I will, you know, it's like on an airplane, right? When the masks come down, you put the mask on yourself before you put the mask on another person. It's kind of like that. I needed some time to recalibrate myself. I appreciate it, guys. I hope I didn't worry any of you guys, but yeah, I'm here for it, and my to pull or not to pull video for the banner will be dropping tomorrow. So before I leave this video, guys, I do want to make a recruiting announcement for the Curseborn Alliance. For those of you guys that don't know, I lead an alliance of guilds. We run all of the guilds on our Discord. Each guild has their own channel. We have a general discussion for all the guilds, all the members, the leaders, etc. It's a lot of fun, a really cool community. So if you are looking for a guild, we have a few different guilds recruiting, and we have, you know, basically kind of ranks all across the board. So I believe that Alexander, Shiva, and Kujata are all recruiting. All of them are in the top 50. Alexander and Shiva, I think Alexander's pretty much always in the top 20 or close to it. Same with Shiva, and Kujata is, you know, up there as well. I think Kujata is top 50. Excuse me, guys, if I forgot, but it's a lot. 13 guilds is a lot to remember, but. And then we also have Neo Bahamut, which is recruiting a few players as well. So there's a couple different ways you guys can join one of our guilds if that sounds like something fun for you. The first way that you can do that is you can just drop a comment on this video and say, hey Ryder, how do I join one of the guilds? Boom. Then I'll help you from there. Another way is if you're already in our Discord or you want to join our Discord, there's a link to in the description of this video. Just come join the Curseborn Discord, and then, you know, there's a channel in the Discord where you can go to Players LFG, looking for guild, right? And you can just, you know, follow the kind of pattern in there of how people are posting and just talk about your account, what you're looking for, etc. Or you can just DM me personally in Discord, guys. It's super chill. Just reach out anytime. I talk to people all the time, and I will help to fit you into a guild that, you know, is what you're looking for, right? Where you're going to have fun, if you want something really competitive or more casual, etc. So if you are looking for a guild, it's a great community of people, super fun, and we'd be happy to have you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.